another big problem that I see with this is that man now is responsible for salvation. It is based on a work that he does. Right? Now, I've said that to many of my Arminian friends before, and it's like they don't quite understand what I'm saying. And maybe I'm not putting it correctly, but it seems to me that if I have to do something to be saved, then it's based on me, and it's based on a work that I do. That's salvation by works in my mind, isn't it? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's why I learned one of the things that I like when your dad talks, to hear him talk about, is unpacking the three metaphors from the scriptures that are used for talking about our life in Messiah. It's new birth, right? Birth is something that happens to you, right? You don't choose. New creation, being a new creation, right? Resurrection, right? Those are all things that happen. We can't affect our own resurrection. We can't affect our own birth. We can't affect our own new creation. This is something that happens to us by God's grace, that he, in the picture of Yeshua calling Lazarus out of the grave, is like this a beautiful
get up and
there.
Walk, dude. Come out of there.
Yeah. It's funny. I was reading, I've been reading a lot about early Hasidism, in the 1800s. And there's a legend of a pre-Hasidic Kabbalist. So he lived, I think, like late 1600s, early 1700s. And the lore was that he was so, and he's one of the Baal Shem, right? So he's a Baal Shem. So he would create amulets and things like that to protect women in childbirth, or to make sure they would have a son, these kinds of things. But one of the things was, the legend is that he brought a guy back from the dead just so he could sign like divorce papers or give his wife a get or something. Because
I'll show you. I don't care that you're dead.
That's the legend. But so and it's just, and people latch onto that kind of thing, and they believe the lore, the magical lore.
Don't you think people would say that about us, though, that we believe the magical lore of Yeshua raising from the dead?
Yeah, they're going to make the same claim.
So, and hang on just a sec. So, Robert is bringing up a good point. So he says, so by definition, and I think this is in response to what I said about if it's up to us, then isn't it a work? He says, so by your definition, a work is any decision we make. Making a decision to accept Messiah and believe isn't salvation by works by the definition of anyone I know. So if I say that we do no work on the Sabbath, does that include making any decision, or am I taking this in too far? So I guess what I'm trying to say, and good question, thank you for that, Robert. What I'm trying to say is that it seems that from the way that I'm understanding the Arminian perspective of salvation is that salvation rests upon us. The
salvation is an offer that a person can accept or reject on their own terms.
We basically, the way that I understand it is that we are responsible for our own salvation. If it isn't for us, then we won't have salvation.